Okay, and it says it's recording. So let's go ahead and get started. I'll just let everybody know what my thinking is behind our this mastermind. I did a mastermind with about 50 people back in April or March or April of this year, and we spent a month together working on developing packages, pricing, and getting clients. And we had some major breakthroughs with those people. And some of them I'm still working with them and everything. For example, I worked with Yvonne Herbst. She's one of my mastermind students. Rebecca Happy, Les. There's quite a handful of people. And the thing about a mastermind, as you all know, is that they it's the power of having lots of minds come together and all focused on an outcome. So I wanted to open up the Facebook mastermind to as many people as possible who want to participate, because I get a lot of people who they write to me in my personal email, and we talk about different things, and I try to help people. And then of course I send mass emails out trying to provide value that way. Some people appreciate it, some people don't. But I think overall that there's a good mix of value there. So what I want to do first is some brainstorming as if we were all sitting around a table, and and we were together face to face, and I want us to brainstorm what services can we offer as foot in the door or open the door strategies that are low barrier to entry for the average local business person. So if you can type into the chat box, I would really appreciate it, if you could just type in what services that you feel are valuable that possibly we could use as a foot in the door that would be under $100 to a potential client. And then I want to talk about that with based on the answers I get from everyone, because my goal for tonight, and Paul, I believe, requested it too. It's funny, the story of Paul Donahue. Ray Lane, as you all know, is a friend of mine, and he called him Phil. So after Ray did that, obviously, then I started thinking that Paul's name was Phil. And, it's because of Phil Donahue, the famous talk show host. And so, Paul was nice enough to say, oh, by the way, my name is Paul, not Phil. Okay, Lloyd says a mobile web app. Okay, so Lloyd, when you say that a mobile web app, are you talking like something like from Duda, or one of those easy to put together mobile web apps that you can easily do? Okay. And then our Fromer says Map Hero, which of course is your Google listing, mini website, 2 to 3 pages. Yes. Okay. So right there, off of the top of our heads, for under $100, you could offer a mobile web app that would provide much more value than $100 to a client or customer. The Google listing would be well worth more than $100, and a mini website, a 2 to 3 pager, certainly could be a good little foot in the door. And Paul says that he has nothing under 199, which is fine. I'm just wanting you to get some ideas flowing, in a brainstorming session. And because anything, to me, seriously, a foot in the door is just that. It is a small thing that you can offer, one small service or one small product that you can offer to someone to get your foot in the door. And so a foot in the door is typically anything under $500 you could consider a foot in the door strategy, because most business people could write a check for that just by saying, yeah, I want that. They shouldn't have to check with their wife or their business partner or check with anyone else. They typically have the leeway to write a check for up to $500. And of course, if it's $250, $199, that could also all be considered foot in the door. It's kind of a starting point. That's why I'm asking you what it is that you have in mind that could be your foot in the door. And it's just a way that where somebody could write you a check. The directory listings are another good example, because obviously the idea is something small that you can do for someone that can be completed quickly, and that can show that you are an authority and that you are real and trustworthy. Because our foot in the door strategies, what they're for is for us to show up and to be a solution provider, to provide high value at a really reasonable rate, while at the same time we do not want to be perceived as a commodity. That is the biggest issue that a local marketing consultant runs into, is being perceived as just another salesperson, just another one of those old salespeople that they'll walk in the door trying to sell me something. And if you ever have a conversation with a local business person, they're going to tell you, I am confused. I do not know who to trust. People tell me they can do something, and then they take my money, they disappear, and they don't do anything that I can tell that they're doing. I actually had this conversation with a business owner who owns a company. He sells wheels and automotive parts, and he actually was taking a Silva method class from me, totally unrelated. He was developing his mind, but we were talking about business and social media, and about um, how he didn't know who to trust. And because I said, oh, well, in my other life, I do local marketing, tell me what your problem is. And so he was telling me how these different people show up offering to fix his, for example, fix his Google business, Google, and to get him listed in directories, and to get his website optimized. And they want, $100, $145, whatever the amount is, and they all want it for 6 months or a year. And he said, I'm confused. I don't know who to trust. And so I told him, well, let me look at your site and I'll let you know if they're doing anything or not. Because as you all know, when the Google had the big change with their mobile optimization back on April 21st, that there was a flood of new people trying to get on the local mobile responsive bandwagon. So the business owners were all deluged with all these new people who made promises about this mobile responsive website. So think about, again, we're trying to just come up with a bunch of price points there. And Lloyd points out that the Google listing has changed. Yes, just the other day, the 7-pack now looks like it's a 3-pack. But don't worry about that so much. Again, it isn't about making promises that, oh, I'm going to get you in the 7-pack. No, you can't make those promises. But what you can say is, I can help you claim your Google places. I can help you make it as good as it gets in terms of optimization. I can help you with your videos for it. I can help you with the tags. I can help you with the descriptions. I can help you with the photographs. And then you can carry that on to I can customize your YouTube channel and all of that. I can help you with your Facebook. You have a lot of options that launch off of that local Google listing. And when I first started in 2010, my package that I started with was I will claim your Google Places, which is now Google Plus Local Maps or whatever they're calling it today. That was my package. It was that, a Facebook page, and 5 videos. And I charged about $500 for that service. So I gave them a lot of value for under $500. And then I had another package that was about $1,000. And then another package that was about 1,500, and then one that was about 2,000, and then it went up. But I found the sweet spot that where people wouldn't flinch too much was about a $2,000 upfront fee and about $500 a month if they were a legitimate business. That was an easy sell. And then there were other people, of course, that I could charge more for because they had much larger businesses. And we will talk about the value of a client later, because I want you to understand that you cannot charge a pizza guy the same amount that you're going to charge a plastic surgeon or an attorney, because the value of the client is different. And you really do need to understand what that means, and that if you can figure out the value of a client, you certainly can have a very strong sales conversation. If all you need to do is get, say, a chiropractor one client, for him or her to pay for their entire marketing campaign, because the value of one client is $1,500 over the course of a year. You can see the difference. Like an attorney their client may be worth $10,000. At a minimum. I talked to an attorney, and their clients, the different attorneys for the same service, ranged anywhere from $3,000 to $15,000 to represent the same case. So what was the difference? How much money they asked for. That was the big difference, because I think that the outcome would probably be the same if they were a reputable attorney. Um, Keshab is saying, what about offering something for free? That's an option too. And believe me, we've all done that, and I can talk about that. I actually did a presentation today for Jason Fladlin of Rapid Crush for his coaching people, and I did 19 foot in the door strategies, and one of them was all about risk reversal, and obviously risk reversal could be definitely something that is free because there's no risk. Yvonne is saying videos. Lloyd, in terms of the foot in the door, we're talking, when I'm just talking about those prices that you would get in the initial phase, would be a setup, and then it would be the setup time, which would range anywhere from 30 days to 90 days, depending on how long it takes to set it all up. And then, of course, the monthly costs would range anywhere from less than $100 up into the thousands of dollars, depending on what you're actually doing for people. And that's the part when you're first getting started where everybody gets all screwed up. For example, me, when I first started, I went out and again, my background was not sales. I had no sales training whatsoever. Um, I went out and I put together these packages that were $25,000, $15,000, and I'd present these packages, and people would be like, "I don't think so. What else you got?" Because they knew that I had something good, and I found that when I had the package about $2,000, they weren't too afraid to give me money. But obviously, the lower the price, the easier the barrier of entry. But again, you have to be offering your consulting services in order not to be perceived as a commodity. That's going to be your biggest challenge when you're first getting started, is to be the perception of who you are. That's why I keep telling all of you to go out and speak. Because if you can go out and speak, immediately the perception of who you are, your value goes up because you're in front of them, educating them about whatever it is. It may be about mobile marketing, it may be about websites, it may be about videos, it could be about QR codes. For example, I got a cosmetic dentist as a client from a QR code presentation I did, and it was about QR codes. I mean, QR codes are very simple, inexpensive items, but it tweaked his imagination that I got in to talk to him about a complete marketing plan. And I actually ended up bartering about $50,000 worth of dental because I needed an implant for one of my teeth, and then I said, well, might as well do some more work while we're in there, and I made him a bunch of videos in exchange for dental, and I still do work for him every month. Real simple stuff. I do review videos. I do Facebook. Real simple, ordinary stuff. And it's all bartered for the dental work that I had done. So there are many, many ways to charge and to get paid that don't necessarily involve cash, because you can barter just like you could barter in any type of form. Some other foot in the door ideas are PowerPoint movies, yes. Um, and then Lloyd says monthly uh, plus lead costs. You can do that, or you can just charge a flat monthly fee. And Bill saying value. Okay. Hey, Earl. Oh, okay. I guess we have a name that's different people. So those are some things just that obviously we it's hard to talk into the air like this, but there's so much that we can talk about, and the more that you can talk to me in the chat box, the better. But again, what we just did was, we know that we can provide value that is worth much more than $100, and but that the barrier of entry, $100 for most businesses, is a low entry level. Now, what I want to point out about that is you have to be careful when you are coming up with a foot in the door strategy, because again, you don't want people to think, oh, that's so cheap, it can't possibly be valuable. We're working in this weird place. So what services can we offer that are under $500? Now we're moving on up the ladder. So let's think about, what could we put together that we could sell for under $500, but the perceived value is much greater. So I'll start it off. I think that if you're a local theme jack website person, I think that you could easily sell a responsive local theme jack website and hosting for under $500 to get started. And when I say to get started, I mean if you were to package a local theme jack website, which I believe is like a 5-page or so website, optimize, put it together and then provide the hosting for that, you could at least provide the hosting for a month, if not longer. And then you could easily tack on a minimum of $100 a month as the hosting and maintenance and security fees to keep it going. And that would cost you depending on the hosting service you use, that would cost you anywhere from like HostGator is like $35 a month, and you can have a whole bunch of websites on it. Or there are other services that you can use um, for that. But the idea is to have one package that is around $500, and your profit margin on that would be pretty substantial. Let's say that it costs you, after if you had to outsource that, you've already bought your theme and you buy your hosting, so that's divided up by how many clients. But let's just say you have one client, because until you get more than one, you only you might not have any. But let's just say it costs you $100 to create this website and hosting, so that would be a $400 uh, profit to you. And think about it. If you get 5 people, 10 people, that's starting to be a nice amount of money. And then of course you want to have recurring money every month. And that's where most people, again, this is where I stumbled, was what do I sell them after I give them their initial package? And Paul actually, if you remember that the WordPress animator that I sent to everybody to look at, Paul actually upsold one of his clients, because that animator makes it so that you can make your logos spin or slide or bounce around, and that makes your mobile responsive website have some action on it, and it makes it cool. And Ray Lane happened to use the pet version of a local theme jack WordPress thing. That was how I knew that they were compatible, because not everything is compatible with that theme, I noticed. And so I just said, hey, wow, that's kind of cool to be able to animate. But you could use that animator on any WordPress theme, not just that one. But that way, again, you walk in and you have stuff that you can give people that makes you a little bit different than the average person. You've got a mobile responsive website. It has all of the different features. And if you've familiar with the 21 ways that I showed about how to make money off of a website with the, for example, with the autoresponder, helping people with their autoresponders, creating a list, helping people with their Facebook, their YouTube videos. And as you all know, I'm a big believer of using video. Video should be, and this is what I think, so you can hit me if you don't like it. Uh, I believe video should be the foundation of all of your content brand marketing. Why? Because when you make a video, especially an FAQ video, frequently asked question video, you can transcribe that, turn it into a blog post, turn it into any social media post, you have the video, you can have that all optimized, and then you can also take the audio and put that places. And of course, you can use that content on your website anywhere, and you can basically multiply the power of the video by using a service. It used to be Traffic Geyser. You can use OnlyWire. There are a lot of distribution services you can use. That there's good money in video optimization, video distribution, and you can pay other people to do it for you, and that's going to cost you probably $25 to $50 depending on what they do, but you can charge good money for that month after month to keep those videos and all that content spinning. That's a really good continuity program. So let's see here. Okay, under $500, social media management and video. Lloyd says the WP Gateway. Paul says he charges $6.95 for the theme jack, $89 to set it up and hosting. So that's a good price for that. Lloyd's pointing out that Jack charges $97 a month for up to 100 URLs. So that's something just to let you know that I haven't been paying too much attention to that because I'm leaning, obviously, as you know, to authority marketing, and I'm going to Oregon to work on my PhD. So I'm kind of I'm diverging from website creation. That was never my strong suit. I only sold websites because people want websites. So I always use the website like, okay, well, I want to sell you videos, but you want a website, so I'll give you a website too. That was how I actually ended up selling websites. It wasn't my primary intent. Paul says that his recurring goal is a combined $150 to $200, including hosting, maintenance, upload material for half an hour to an hour a month, and reputation management. So what his package is, and this is a good example, would be that he is selling a local theme jack website with hosting at the $6.95. Let me go back if I can. Let's see. Yeah, at the $6.95 and $89 to set up the hosting. So right there, we're talking about $800 for the initial setup. That's a good amount of money. It's over your 500, right? It's at that threshold of around $1,000, which again, it's about perceived value. And so the perceived value is that that's worth much, much more, because the perceived value of a website like that is probably, I would say, about $1,500. And so he's basically bringing it down to about half of what the perceived value is, which is a good discount. And he's smart because he is separating out that hosting as a separate charge, but then he's giving them that package price. You want people to understand that you are going to host it. Do not be afraid to host these websites, because if you let the client run off and do their own hosting, you just became a commodity. It's really important that you understand that as a local marketing consultant, Your job is to be there for these people. You are their marketing consultant. You are their marketer. You are the web guy or the web woman. You are the person they call when they think marketing. If you sell them a website and say, oh, I don't provide the hosting, here, go get your own, guess what? You've just handed them the keys to the car and they're gone. And they're going to call you when they have a problem, but you're not going to make any money off of their problem because you don't have them set up on a monthly reoccurring um, service, which would be included in your monthly reoccurring of that $200 a month or the 150 to $200, because you told them to go get their own hosting, and so they'll call you for help, but you don't have any mechanism to get paid. So you want to make sure that you have a mechanism so that you're getting that monthly income coming in, the cash flow coming in, so that when they do call you, and they don't call you a lot. I mean, I've had a couple people, I've never heard from them, and I always watch their website so that if anything does happen, I know about it before they would ever know about it and I fix it. Or if they do call, it's something silly that they've done, that they want to know how to do something, and it's normally a simple fix. And a couple times I've had clients where one time they got hacked by some hacker, and I had HostGator fixed it, and they restored the website back to where it was. And then another time, they ran out of space because they happened to use a lot of photos. And so their website, they literally put too much stuff on their website and it went down. And I was able to get that up very quickly. So definitely, Paul has the right idea. And now Paul says needs to get into video. Um, let's see. You have access to the forms. Um, Bob, in the mastermind group that I opened up, if you look under files, you'll find some examples of some of my contracts. But I actually do have it's like an 89 question form that I can certainly add to the group that you guys might find value. Where it's useful because you can fill out the form and it gives you all the information you need in order to set up all of their Google and their Facebook and all of their directories. So I can certainly share that with everybody, if that's something that they want. Somebody says, I'm busy. You know what? I discovered that if, for me personally, um, I can be very, very productive if I have a goal or a challenge. And of course, I'm trying to build a solid foundation for my business. So I've been very, very prolific. Um, Today, I was transferring things off of my computer. And just this week, I had done over 250 of something. I don't even know, but I've been recording and writing and making products and doing all kinds of things. But I was like, whoa, 250 items. It was like, whoa. But that's what happens. I get in a flow and I just produce. And then when people talk to me like you, I I produce more because I have people who are depending on me. Charging for videos. I actually have that on my little list here. Let's see. Let me go see if I can find it. Okay. Um, Video packages, how much to charge? So here's the way that I look at videos. You have different types of videos. You have slide presentation videos, which are ones that you could make in Animoto. You have Windows Movie Maker videos. You have iMovie videos where you can either use video clips or video slides again because it's a template. Then you have the done for you videos where you go find like the Ray Lane videos that I shared with everybody the other day, where all you have to do to them is add your name and your calls to action and other information. So the value of a video, obviously, if you have to go shoot a video, go on location and shoot a video, you should be charging anywhere between, on the low end, I would say $800 to $1,000 a scripted minute. That is typically the amount that you would expect to pay in most areas. And again, I'm using the United States. So anyone who is someplace else, I'm sorry, I don't know the answers. I'm just saying that across the United States, in most, let's say, smaller towns and cities, I'm not talking about Hollywood. I'm not talking about New York. I'm talking about the average of what videographers would be charging would be probably $800 to $1,200 a scripted minute, and somewhere in between. That's for original video. So you, depending on your packages, you're trying to provide value. Videos have a high perceived value. So if you gave a package like with Video Marketing Day, the concept is that they go to one location, they answer one question, one answer per video, a minute to 2 minute long, with simple intro and outro and lower thirds, and they're only paying an introductory price for the video of $100 each. They get 5 videos for $500. Some people have charged 5 videos for $1,000. It really depends on how much does it cost you to do it, and what is your perceived value. You're not trying to lose money on this. You're just trying to provide something that you can afford to do and still make money, but get your foot in the door. So I like to sell my videos in packages of a minimum of 5, 10, 15, 20, and up. I like to get people to understand frequently asked questions and should ask questions, and the fact that they should keep doing more videos and more videos. At least if they're going to start, if they start with 5, they should do 5 more 3 months later. If they start with 10, they should do 10 more, 3 months later, because of the fact of, if you're using video as the foundation of your content brand marketing strategy, you need videos. And again, original videos versus ready-made. The beauty of the ready-made videos is that even though it feels like everybody and their brother has those videos, the truth is, out in the real world, where you have millions of little businesses and little cities and towns, they're not at, there's only a small percentage of people actually out there creating videos or using ready-made videos. And half of the time, what I notice when I have bought ready-made videos, 99% of I said half, but it's really 99% of the people who bought them, they don't know how to optimize them properly. So they never even rank. So they're not even competition to you. If you know how to take a ready-made video and you know how to properly title it, properly do the description and do the tags, and properly set up your YouTube channel, your Daily Motion, your Meta Cafe, and a handful of other video sites, and then run it through a system like OnlyWire or Traffic Geyser, you're going to be a superstar and you're going to get ranked on page one of Google, Bing, and Yahoo. And always don't ever discount the power of Yahoo and Bing, because there are many people out there who they get their Windows computers and they have no idea how to get it off of the preset setting that Microsoft sets it on. So they're struggling along with their Yahoo or with their Bing, and they don't have Google. They still use what came with their computer. So remember, always think like they do with hikers and mountain climbers. You always have to think about the weakest link in your party. Always think of, forget that you know all this stuff. Think like your customer thinks, and then provide them with knock it out of the park value. And again, you can charge anywhere from a low end of $500 up, again, $997. $1,000 is sweet, under 2,000. And again, it really depends on your niche or your niche on how much you can charge. Um, the other day, Yvonne wrote me and said that I think she had a contract with it was a doctor of some sort, 5 videos for $2,500. That's how much she was going to charge to do a original production for that. Um, like my dentist, when I did the work for them, I think it was about a $10,000 package, but we did 20 videos and we went to 3 locations within a 50-mile radius. And then, of course, your monthly continuity should include you're releasing, let's say you have 20 videos, you don't release them all at the same month. You might be releasing one a week or two a month, and that's where your continuity income would come in. So let's say that you did 20 videos and that was let's just pull $5,000 to make it even, because that you could do 20 videos for $5,000 and make a profit off of that. And then you sell the optimization and the distribution at a monthly rate of, I will distribute 2 videos a month and optimize them, and that will cost whatever, let's say $250. So you can work with your numbers based on, number one, always know how much it's going to cost you, and if you're outsourcing it. And I highly recommend that if you get serious about any of this, that you do find an outsourcer. And when I say an outsourcer, I'm not saying ship it to the Philippines or India. I'm saying have someone else, not you, do the work that takes so much time. Again, my own experience, I tried to do it all. I tried to do my own videos. So I'd be selling, in the afternoon, and I'd be producing videos at night. And of course, your computer gets all locked up with the processing, because I was making iMovie videos and they look really nice and the clients love them, but you literally end up working 7 days a week, and long, long days, and you burn yourself out when it's much easier to have somebody else help. So the videos, again, the charge, like I said, it really depends on what you're doing. So I would say that if I'm doing a full production on location, I would charge the $1,000 per scripted minute. That's an easy way to do it. So let's say if we use that as our formula, $1,000 a scripted minute, then you could say that if you have two 1 minute videos, that would be $2,000 for an original video. The ready-made ones, you could sell those for $100 each, $200 each, $300 each, because you're paying. Typically, when you buy the ready-made videos, you're buying them for, let's say, under $25, and you're not paying per video, you're paying one time. And so you can make that video um, end up costing you pennies if you use it a lot. And because let's say you buy a air conditioning video, and you end up your niche is air conditioning, and you have an air conditioning guy in zip code 10123 and is in zip code 9999, a client in New York and a client in Oregon, they're not in competition with one another. So the video, they could each have the same video. So if you get what I'm saying about that. Just a second. Oliver, I'll get you that link to Ray's videos just to let everybody know the deal with Ray's videos. At this moment in time, those videos are not open to the public. He has not officially launched them. I was searching for videos because people keep saying, well, Tami, what do? We want to sell videos, but we don't have the experience to go out and shoot videos. So I saw that Ray had those, and I said, Ray, can I get them so that my people, did you know you were my people? so that my people can get these videos before anybody else does, so you guys have a head start to be able to use them. And they're pretty nice videos, and he's making more. And I mean, just like the local theme Jack, Jack keeps making more themes based on what people want. Ray's doing the same thing. So he'll make videos based on what people want. And right now, most of the videos are in attorneys, dental, the things that people have wanted. And I think the quality's pretty decent. The question is it good to rank a video for a niche and then try to sell that? Yvonne, yeah, that would fall under the risk reversal category of if, and you can sell it or you can lease it. There's different schools of thought about digital assets, and I've actually looked back in time at what was going on, back in time, 2007, 2008, 2009. And then I look at my own experience, 2010. Digital assets, the way that I've explained digital assets to clients when they didn't seem to get the value of why they would care if they had more than one digital asset on the front page of Google, is I likened it to waterfront property. And I said to them, I said, well, I had a jeweler, and he literally invited me to his house on a Sunday. And it was a kind of a weird situation because it's him and his wife, and they're in there like robes on a Sunday morning. We're talking about business. So it was kind of a weird situation. But I was explaining to him, because they lived right on the water, a sailboat canal in Port Charlotte, which has got beautiful sailboat canals out to the harbor. And I said, they happened to say, yeah, back in the 70s, he paid $63,000 for this lot, and everybody thought he was nuts. But now, of course, it's $1 million lot. So nobody thinks he's nuts now. And he said to me, I wish I had bought more of these lots on this sailboat canal when when it was only $63,000 for the lot. So I was like, oh, thank God. I can tell him that's exactly what digital assets are. You want to have as many pieces of waterfront property on the front page of Google as possible. And that would be with videos, that could be with directories, that could be with your Google Places, that could be with your website. All of those are digital assets. And I even had to convince him that his website was a digital asset and that it was valuable to him. A couple months ago, I had a meeting with him, and he said to me, Tami, you were right. I get it. I understand what you were trying to explain to me, how valuable my digital assets are. Because since that time, I guess some partner in him, and they're doing some web business together. And because he understands the value of being online now. And of course, he was fought me tooth and nail, 5 years ago. But now, of course, he loves his website and everything and his videos. So let's see. Um, Paul says Ray's making more videos, which is true. And Ed says Bing is up to 21% of all searches. So think about that. If Google is about 70 or more percent of all searches, they are number one. YouTube is number two. Bing and Yahoo make up the other 30% or whatever it is, but Bing is 21%. So 21% of people that are not on Google are looking at Bing. So you want to talk to your audience or talk to your potential clients about their online footprint, their overall online footprints. That's how I came up with the idea again of the website analysis and the online presence analysis. And those are things that you can do for free, but they have a high perceived value, or you can charge some amount for them, and because they are very valuable. And again, if you're trying to make that shift from being a commodity of selling, oh, I sell websites, I sell mobile, uh, whatever, or I sell reputation, when you start talking to them about analysis, website analysis, and you provide reports and things like that, you've elevated that status from being just a commodity to being a real person with real expertise. And that does have true value. Don't ever let anybody like pick your brain, that like for a cup of coffee, like, oh, well, you want to have a cup of coffee so I can pick your brain? Well, no, I really don't want to have a cup of coffee so you can pick my brain. I have actually started to put a big nix on that type of thing, because um, what I have to tell them is worth more than a buck at an icky restaurant or even a $3 cup of coffee at Starbucks. It's worth a lot more than that. But I got that attitude from um, experience. When people, when these, it's typically financial guys will try to make me jump through hoops about to prove to them things. And I've just started to say, I don't think we're a good fit. And because I don't think I need to prove anything to anyone anymore, because I've shown what I can do. Um, I have people ranked all over the place. And so whenever anybody starts to do that to me, I just say, nope, bad fit, because it affects me. And you guys all need to understand that too. Do not work with anyone who cannot afford it. Do not work with anyone who doubts that this stuff works. This is not a fad. This is not anything that's going to go away. This is all real, proven marketing stuff that makes people thousands, if not millions of dollars every single day. And you just happen to be in the field of I'm a local marketing consultant and these are my packages. And I think Paul's packages that he's talking about, the responsive website is very, very good. Um, with the reputation, don't call it reputation management, call it reputation marketing, because there's a little, it's semantics, but the nuance of management is that you're managing something. There is a lower perceived value when you say management versus marketing. Marketing is active, management is more passive. So everything you do, like Facebook marketing, all that work that you do on Facebook, you want to make sure they understand that that is about engagement and that is about growing their brand in an online presence, and that it can help them again grow their footprint, because Facebook shows up in the search, LinkedIn shows up in the search, and often I know for a fact Google Plus shows up in the search, and of course YouTube shows up in the search. I'm not sure. I'm not a big Twitter person, just because I haven't. That wasn't what I focused on. I like Facebook a lot. I like LinkedIn. I also participate at a site called Link to Expert, and uh, I'm actually experimenting with that site because of the people I'm trying to target are experts and authors and consultants. So it's just smart for me to go there and hang out. Just like LinkedIn, it's smart to use the LinkedIn publishing features because they send out, when you post at LinkedIn, they send your information to all of your connections saying, hey, Tami just posted a new article. And so it just helps you to rise up in into so that people believe that you are a high quality consultant. And LinkedIn is very, very powerful for that, more so than Facebook. Facebook is very good, I think, for just conversations and group and different things like that. But every single platform for your client, you could be charging to set it up and make them a package, and your package could be at anywhere from $500 per platform to set it up, or you could say, well, I'll set it all up for $1,000 and I'll charge you $200 a month for so many posts per day, or I'll charge you $500 a month for, another amount of posts. And then of course you can automate that using systems such as Hootsuite or Postradamus, or there's a whole handful of those. And if you're going to get into social media management, you really want to study it because it's a whole different animal, but you want to really understand how the organic part of the social media works. And then, of course, I highly recommend that you also start to learn about the paid options available, not only Google AdWords, Facebook ads, Twitter ads, LinkedIn ads, and if you're going to do that, you do need to get some general education about how it all works. And for example, I just did some training the other day on how to do the custom audiences for Facebook. And I'll tell you, if you know how to do the custom audiences to the point where you're able to know, like, it's men age 55 to 65 and they are Caucasian or African American or whatever, and they all like this, um, you can really get some highly targeted low cost traffic to your ideal clients. And again, think about that. If you can do this for yourself, you can turn around and make money with it for your clients. So whenever you're trying to figure any of this stuff out, you should try to do some of it for yourself and go, oh, that's how it works. Um, that's what I mean, I keep my Jing open and I have my screencast-o-matic, and whenever I have an aha moment, I take a screenshot and I try to capture that moment in time, and I'll write a little note on the Jing about why did I take that screenshot? Because at some point in time I can go back and say, here I was at 0 and here I am today. And then I can share, well, how did I go from 0 to here in this? And as you're doing this, many of you, if you're brand new, you're saying, well, how do I prove that I am this expert, Tami? What I did was, when I ranked, and again, I used video because it was a low barrier for me, because I discovered I could rank video in the local market very rapidly just by having the right title, the right description, and the right tags. And I documented it when my videos would hit, like when they show up, and then I would write 23 seconds, to do this. And under my short name, Tami Patzer, I actually, on Facebook, I actually have all about probably 100 of these screenshots where it shows all these people being ranked. So at any time, I can go find all this stuff and say, okay, well, here's my pest control guy. Here's my HVAC guy. Here's my plastic surgeon. And to this day, 5 years, those people in many cases are still ranking from work I did for them 5 years ago. So the value, of course, that we're providing is tremendous. And you can use stories, my stories, uh, to help you, because you can say, well, my mentor did this, or my team member did this, whatever you want to say, because this is all real documentable stuff that you can use other people's success until you get your own. Obviously, your own success is always going to be better, because then you have that passion behind it, and it's like, I did this. And it comes across when you're talking. Let's see here. Yes, Ed is talking about Yahoo and email. I was a big Yahoo person, until somebody said, you really should try that Gmail. And I said, oh, really? And so I did. David says you can add Pick My Brain PayPal button, $250 to $500. This makes most people wait, but then they realize that your time is worth something. Yep, that's good. Um, Yvonne, yes. Yep, audio problems. Oh, I can't tell. Let me see. Well, hopefully you guys can all still hear me, because I can't tell if I have audio problems, because I can see my little green thing moving. Um, yes, Yvonne, okay, great, great, thank you. You can put video in your LinkedIn profile, with using YouTube or other URLs, and they show up. That is something that every single person here should make sure. Go and look at your LinkedIn profile. And if you need help, let me know, and we'll do a mastermind call just on LinkedIn, because I have a lot of friends who are LinkedIn experts, and I've believe me, you think you spend a lot of time in education. I've spent hundreds of hours learning all this stuff from different people. And then luckily, a lot of the people I've met because I've gone to these live events. And then of course you meet people, or sometimes people will talk to you. I have no idea why, but they'll talk to me like on Skype, and they'll be like these really well-known people, and it's like, whoa, that's kind of cool. And they'll tell me stuff, but with LinkedIn, you definitely want to have your profile filled out, put in videos, put in samples, put in your testimonials, put in information about what you do. That's one of the reasons why I put so much energy into that say it right. And a lot of people, I don't think that you guys get how important it is to spend that time, like to think about who you are, what your unique value proposition is, what to say to people, because every person who spent that time with me with either the Say It Right or the Power Pitch program, and I did the live training where we edited what we said. Every person who was on those calls, they went out and got new clients either by using what they said on the telephone or in person. They either got appointments, or they got new clients, or they got new prospects just from what they said in that first 30 seconds. That's how powerful this stuff is. And all of the stuff that we talk about, we can have products coming out of our ears, we can have services, but if we can't package it and pull it all together and feel confident, that's where most of us fail. And again, I'm telling you from my personal experience of, all the failures and fears I had, because my very first client, I went out to eat all you can eat crab legs with my son, and I walked into a restaurant that was empty. It was a Tuesday night. It was empty. All you can eat crab legs, and back then in 2010 they were 13.99 for all you can eat crab legs. Now they're 26. Um, and I looked around, it was empty, and it was like, whoa, what's going on here? And I asked to talk to the owner, and he came out, and I asked him, I said, if I could come up with an idea for you to get more clients into your restaurant, would you listen to me? And he said, yes. So I went home and I thought about it, and I came back and I said, okay, this is what I want to do. I want to make you a Facebook page. I want to claim your Google, and I want to make you 5 videos. How much? $295 and $250 a month. Okay. Because I was afraid to ask for more. I was, I'm like a lot of, I just didn't, I had no clue how much to charge. I didn't know what to, do. I had a friend who came and shot a beautiful professional photographs. I made slide presentation videos. I think I did the voiceovers, um, put music on them and made them in Windows Movie Maker with a $400 Asus computer, because I didn't have a Mac, because I literally didn't have any money. I was using what I had. And seriously, use what you have. Every tool I had was free or very cheap. I used the Windows Movie Maker that came on the computer. I did pay my friend $25 to shoot all these pictures, and the reason she was so cheap was because she didn't want to make a lot of money, because she's older and she doesn't want to screw up her social security. So she didn't want to make too much, which is kind of silly, because I would want to make tons of money and give up social security, but I guess That's my mindset, is I'd rather make tons of money and not have to worry about Social Security. But I made that the Facebook that I put an offer on Facebook. You got a piece of lemon bay pie if you mentioned Facebook. I didn't know how to do contests or anything. I just knew right on in the post, get a free piece of pie if you mention Facebook. I did that. I go in about 3 weeks later, the guy's like beaming from ear to ear because they were making $5,000 a week in Inglewood, Florida in the summertime when all the snowbirds have gone home. So I helped this guy go from, I think he said he was making about $2,000 a week to $5,000 in the middle of summer. And that was a big coup. So I had my first success. Then I was able to tell that story to other people. And every time I had a big success, of course, I could tell the same story. And of course, I could charge more. And I went from $295 for my first little package. I think my next package I charged about $1,000 and $350 a month. And by the third package, for basically the same thing, I was charging about $1,900 and $750 a month for the website and the hosting and some basic social media and some videos. So as my confidence grew, my prices went up. So that's a little tip that all of you can use. Um, Now my foot in the door package is is normally about $497. The foot in the door, the last foot in the door package that I did was a local theme jack website with the hosting with setup on sale for $795, but I showed the value, I think, at $1,500 or $1,600. And that was the special that I offered when I spoke to the SCORE group. The restaurant client, the question is, do I still have him as a client? The restaurant client I do not have, but it wasn't because he was unhappy. It was because quit. Um, they quit advertising. Period. I think that they're kind of off on another direction and they're just like, I think their restaurant is just something that they do on the side. But most of the clients that I started with in 2010 are still my clients. So think about that. If you look at your lifetime value, but you can't rely on that um, because obviously the average client, they say, lasts between 18 months and 2 years. I've had clients that I always do try to go for at least a year if it's something that needs to be a year. But for example, I have some people with websites, they've been my clients, 2, 3 years, and they pay typically an annual, they like to pay for it annually. So maybe I'll get a check, I'll give them a 20% discount if they pay in annually instead of by the month. And so that typically will mean that I'll get a check for, six or $7,000 to $12,000 for a year because they like saving that 10 or 20%. Um, and it depends. Sometimes I give, I'll add some little incentive, like, oh, I'll post instead of 3 times, I'll post 6 times. What is that going to cost me? A little bit of time. It's not going to cost me very much at all to add things again that have high perceived value that don't really cost you much in terms of obviously cash out of your pocket or time. And again, bartering can be very effective. A lot of that has to do with you and your personality. But for example, when I bartered with the dentist, I didn't walk in the door going, "Oh, I'm going to barter." I walked in the door with a proposal that showed him all the stuff I could do, and it was certainly about $25,000 a year worth of stuff, and he wanted it. You know, and it was kind of like a at the same time I was having this tooth problem, and I knew I needed an implant, and I had gotten prices, and I knew it would cost me $4,000 to $5,000 for this one tooth. So it was kind of like a mutual, like how when two people go, "Hey, how about this?" You know, we came up with this idea together, and it was like, yeah, I'd be happy to help you. You know, I'll heal you. Because think about it, dentist, he's a compassionate. He could tell that I needed help because I had an infection and I had lost a lot of bone in my upper jaw. So, you know, he had compassion for me, and I happened to have something he wanted that it was a mutual agreement, and then we agreed that we would pay for anything that actually cost us money in cash. So it ended up that I still need to pay him like $3,000 because he charged me for things that cost him money. Um, and then I charge him for things that cost me money, like if I have to outsource something. But a lot of what I bartered were things that I could easily do myself. Like I can write a press release very easily, but I charge him for the press release service that I pay for, or I make him review videos. I charge a flat rate for that, and I charge him a small fee for my service that I have to pay, or the optimization if I pay for that. So it all works out. Yvonne says, restaurant owner told me, let me see this. We're talking about bartering. Okay, restaurant owner told me that AT&T will do her website for free, and $200 was 2 months. She has no customers every time I go in there. So Yvonne, here's the truth about this person. She is not your ideal customer. Your ideal customer is somebody who sees the value of what you have to provide and has the money to pay for it. This is an example of a person who is probably hanging on by a thread and they don't have any customers. So she's not seeing the value that you bring to the table. She's just going, "Oh, you're asking me to give up money," and she's probably going to be out of business. What my suggestion is, and I call this other people's media, OPM, other people's money, other people's media, and that is that you look at people who are spending money in other people's media. For example, when I first started, I looked at the local magazines, newspapers, radio, TV, and I looked for people who were spending money. My plastic surgeon was an example. He was spending at least $2,500 according to the rate card. So let's say he got a deal, and so at least $1,000 on the inside front cover of a magazine. He was spending money advertising in the newspaper. I think I think that's it. He was basically spending money in newspaper advertising and um, in magazines, and I looked at his website. His website was really bad. His name was misspelled. It had tons of typographical errors. So I saw there was my foot in the door. So I found him on Facebook and friended him and started talking to him with something we had in common, which was I'm a teacher and was a teacher also because he teaches plastic surgery type stuff. So, and then I said to him, you have a lot of typos on your website. I can help you fix them. Do you want me to do that? And I did not charge him to fix those. But I said, I have a lot of other services, including video, that you might be interested in. And I actually made a video, introduction video, and I someday I might show it to people because it's probably pretty bad. But I used to, I was going to work at the time, so of course I'd get ready to go to work, and I'd have enough time. I shot my video. I think I had a flip camera, or it may have been a ZI-8 by that time, because I was moving on up. With every time I had money, I'd buy something better to use. So I made a video where I introduced myself, told them what I could do, when my call to action was, let's meet and I'll tell you all of the things I can do to help you grow your plastic surgery business. Well, I got an appointment from my video, and when I went to meet him, I wore the same outfit and the guy hugged me. That's the power of video. That's why I keep trying to tell you, use video. Don't be afraid to be on screen. If you're afraid to be on screen, at a minimum, do like how the webinars are done, where you're actually, providing value or doing a web analysis or something. So uh, think about finding your ideal client is going to be somebody who has money, that who has money and they're spending it on advertising of some kind. You're not going to go ask them to give you all their budget or to make switch from newspapers and magazines to only what you offer. All you're going to ask them to do is take a little bit of their money, try what you're offering, so that you can um, move forward with your business. Oh, R. Fromer says they're coming to Inglewood tomorrow. The restaurant is Winks. If you're in Inglewood, it would be on Indiana Avenue, right in the center of town. It's called Winks Old Town Grill, and it's next to Sears in the shopping center there. If you drive through town, it's a small town, you'll see it. Brian says, do I barter often? Um, Not really, but sometimes I find that if it's something I need or want, why not? One of my very, very first clients, I was a carpet cleaner. And with him, I needed my carpet cleaned and I needed my tile cleaned. And I've known this guy for 20 years or so. And so I said to him, I said, well, would you help me? I'm trying to create these videos and I'm trying to learn, which is the absolute truth. I was trying, because when I started, I didn't know anything. My first attempt was Chinese drywall, because I didn't know anything about what a niche was or what a local market. I was really just like swimming in the dark, and I didn't know what I was doing. And like I said, I stumbled around for at least the first 3 months. My goal was to make $547 a month to pay for the Main Street marketing machines. And just to let you know, Main Street marketing machines got me started in the sense that it got my brain to start thinking about local business people, but they really didn't provide the type of training that you really need. Um, like what we're doing now, they didn't talk about that. They basically threw you out there with some packages and that were pretty high priced, and they didn't give you any training about, well, how do you actually get people to know, like, and trust you. They just said, here you go. And people like me are like, okay. But somehow, through sheer persistence and the fact that I needed it so bad. I mean, I needed to be self-employed. I was tired of being used, and I was tired of having people, me giving all my great ideas and watching these people make thousands and thousands of dollars off of my idea while they were paying me $17 an hour, and I could barely make ends meet, without doing two or three jobs. At one point I was working four different jobs, driving probably, oh, I don't know, 200 miles a day, trying, going like teaching. I'd start at 6 o'clock in the morning and go to Venice to Bradenton to Tampa, then back to Venice teaching classes and trying to make money that way as an adjunct. And if you know anything about adjunct, you don't get paid any benefits, and gas was what, $5 a gallon. So all my money was just like I was driving it away, even though I had a Prius. And of course I was tired, and I'd come home and try to do all this stuff. It was pretty wild there for a while. I think the question is related to the doctor's website. No, one of his children did not set up his website. It was somebody who obviously couldn't spell. And you'd be surprised what, and again, think about 5 years ago, fast forward to today, the there was a lot of HTML websites. WordPress was around, but not as popular as it is now. And it used to be that people would make these HTML websites, or prioritory, or whatever that word, I can't even think of it, but they would hold these people hostage. And of course, because HTML is not the most user friendly platform, it would take them forever to fix anything. So people, they'd buy these websites and spend sometimes $10,000 for something that today you literally would pay $500 for, because it's different. The technology is different. Um, Things that when I first started in television, I had a real estate TV show, and I was paying $100 an hour for the studio. And of course, we were doing our TV show using slides, where now I could produce the same show using my phone and not even need a computer. And it would cost me basically my time and my telephone, and I could do a high quality digital show on television or on the web that used to cost me thousands of dollars to produce every week. So our technology has really done a lot. So let's go ahead and let's see. I think I covered social media setups. We talked about some continuity packages. One other thing about the continuity packages, again, let's go back and talk about, let's say we start out with our website package. Let's say that our very first package is a simple website and hosting, and you're charging anywhere from, let's say, $250 to $750 for that initial package. And again, the reason I'm giving a wider range is because I don't know where you are, but I did talk to people across the country, different web people I know, and I asked them what going rates were for certain things. And quickly, I'll share some of them. Related to the Google Plus and the Google Plus Local across the country. They're saying that local marketing consultants can get a one-time charge, $500 to $895. And the reason there's such a difference is because of who you're selling it to. Obviously, a dentist, a doctor, an attorney can afford to pay a higher amount because their clients are worth more. So think about who your clients are. stay away in general from um, mom and pop companies that are not doing any advertising or that always seem to be just 1 foot away from closing. Yes, you can help them. You'll want to help them, but you'll probably end up getting burned in some way. Either they won't pay you or you'll do a whole bunch of work and they won't appreciate it. Um, so you have to judge, this is where your intuition and your gut feeling is going to come into play a lot is, who should your ideal client be? And you really do need to sit down and spend time with your ideal unique value proposition. Who are you? What do you offer? What makes you stand out? So that you can come up with your services that you want to offer because you can offer everything. If you look at Jack Hopman did the digital marketing website and he had like 9 services, everything from lead generation to paid ads to social media to videos, reputation marketing. I mean, I can probably, if I kept going, I could probably name off a lot more. So you want to decide, especially if you're brand new, what are you going to package up and provide. And then as you develop the relationship, you can add more to it. But you want to have 1 or 2 what they call bread and butter packages, core services that are popular and valuable and are going to help you make money. Um, Again, there's a lot of things you can do with video, a lot of things you can do with mobile, a lot of things you can do with websites. Let me see. Another one is okay. I wanted to talk about. I had talked about the 21 point checklist with the website analysis and things. You could easily charge to go and do an official competitors analysis or a online website analysis or online presence analysis. You could give away a little 5-minute one free, but anything that's more in depth, I think you should be charging $500 to $750 for this because you can sell it as I'll do this analysis for you. If you want me to provide the services, great. If not, hand this over to anyone and they can provide the services for you. But here's what you need in order to create a marketing website or to create this massive online footprint. You deserve to get money for creating that plan. And then list building. Email list building is probably the most misunderstood thing, the lead and list building that most local businesses they don't get. They'll have their business cards with the rubber band wrapped around them or their fishbowl. That is a service that you could easily charge at least $495 for with a $200 to $300 a month fee to help them with their offers and their autoresponder sequences. One of my friends and a mentor of mine is Jimmy Harding. He started out with mobile marketing to colleges and campuses, and he used to sell a setup of $300 to a restaurant to have them have one deal per month sent out to about 1,000 people on campuses. Obviously, that would work very, very well if you have, the bigger number of people you have on a text message. But let's say you're a restaurant, it's a rainy day, and you've got food that's going to spoil, and you can send out an instant message to 1,000 people and get them to come in and buy your pizza or your soup or whatever it is, that could be a very useful tool. And of course, back to the directory listings, the proper citations, the directory listings. Um, you can charge anywhere from low end prices for this, a couple $100s. a- I've had people tell me they charge $400 to $500, and then $400 to $500 a month. And again, my friend Courtney, he charges less than that per month, but he's only delivering 5 directories a month, and he's keeping that at around $150 a month. But then he asks them to pay 6 months or a year in advance. So he'll get a check for $1,000 or more by having it be a low monthly fee, and then he gives them a discount if they pay it in advance. That's the proper way to do a discount. And if you're ever doing discounting, discounting is a normal thing that you can expect. You always want to make sure that the value, perceived value, is so much higher than the amount they're going to pay that it becomes a no-brainer to to do whatever it is that you're talking about. And that's probably something that we can talk about more in the future, about the different levers, business levers, that when you're trying to close a deal, that there's certain things that you can say that will, I guess, help them psychologically move into the buying mode. It's kind of the fish or cut bait mode. You either want it or you don't. If you do, it's this is how much it is. But if they try to lowball you or something, you have to be willing to walk away, but at least say, well, I'll stop in and see you, in 3 months to see how you're doing. But whatever. So that's a whole nother topic that I'm not prepared to talk about right at this split second. Online reviews, that goes into your reputation marketing. Online reviews, video reviews. I actually use David Sprague's rep videos. I always have remnant space. So if anybody's interested in learning more about that, ask me, and I'd be happy to let you at least experiment with it if you're interested in providing reputation videos. I have a lot of education and a lot of information on that, and they're easy to sell. Um, Seriously, I sold some reputation videos to some clients. Restaurants love them, especially if they're on TripAdvisor, and you can sell them, so one a month, two a month, whatever. And you can get anywhere from $150 to $250 a video for something that doesn't cost that much. So again, the review services, review marketing, testimonial marketing, any of that, you can easily get review plugins for a WordPress site, and you can get, there's several services around for providing reviews, and 5-star reviews are something that people want. Again, I did um, dentist testimonial reviews, and I charged him $100 per testimonial during my video marketing today, but that was $1,000 of income because he had 10 people come through, and it was really easy. I actually used a template, and I just popped in the testimonials into the template. It took me maybe 3 minutes each with that, and I made all those review videos. So I didn't even outsource it because it was so easy. Um, but that's something that you can do. So tonight, I mean, we've talked about a lot of different potential packages. Again, basic, simple package, foot in the door, mobile responsive website and hosting. If you own Local Theme Jack, you've got that. You can get the ready-made videos. Ray has a ton of those. I have another resource I'm working on for ready-made videos, because obviously you can create an entire business of ready-made videos, and then you just either outsource adding the client's name onto it, or you create a leasing situation, rental situation, pay per call situation. Um, I would, if you decide you want to go the pay per call route, let me know and we'll have a talk about it, because I made a big mistake on the wrong niches for pay per call, and I can share with you what not to do and why you don't want to do it with certain niches, but why it would work with other ones. So that's a whole at least half an hour to an hour conversation, and then I can point you in the right direction on how to do pay per call, pay per lead the right way, based on an entire summer 2 years ago, I believe, that I just spent the whole summer doing this, only to find out that I was trying to do pay per call in the wrong niche, that it didn't work that way with that particular niche. So that's some really good 2020 hindsight that I can share with you. Let's see. I don't know what's wrong with the sound. For some of you, it goes in and out, but I'm still here. Let's see. What does this say? Um, I find with mom and pop businesses, if your work is bringing them in new business, they won't let you go. I have a lot of customers who've been with me for 3 or 4 years, and they're exactly that type of company. That's true. The big thing about mom and pop companies is, again, pre-qualify, make sure that they spend money on something, make sure that they get it, that they understand what it is you're doing for them, and that they value it. And you're right, they will keep you around, because you become their marketing guy or gal, or your the marketing woman. I have clients who, it doesn't matter what it is. Maybe they want printing, they call me. Um, Whatever it is related to marketing, I am the marketing person. Um, Paul Donahue says that he has some company called Get 5 Stars, and that he has it white labeled. I don't know anything about 5 stars. There are lots of those types of companies around. The main thing about any of that is, decide if reputation marketing is part of your plan, because again, we have so many potential services that we can offer. You want to put together in the beginning one or two complementary services. For example, responsive website and lead generation is complementary. Responsive website and video, complementary. Responsive website and reputation, all complementary. You just want to put together, seriously, sit down, write out your business plan. Make this real. I mean, if this is a hobby, it's a hobby, but if this is a real business, you really want to treat it that way. And again, put together an entire marketing plan so that you get it, and start your list. Seriously, start building your email list for your local clients today, and make sure you put together autoresponder educational email series, and get out there and start speaking and get in front of people. I cannot emphasize how much money you're going to make when you are the perceived expert and the person that they see, and that even if you're not recommended by the chamber or by SCORE or by the, it's implied that the fact that you're there, it's an implied recommendation. And when you get up there and you give people value, they're going to want to do business with you. That's how I get my business, is through teaching and educating people and providing value. And that's actually, because I'm not a salesman in terms of being a salesman, that's how I'm able to get a lot of really high quality clients, is because when they hear me speak, you're there for 15 minutes, a half hour, an hour and a half, or a whole workshop. They bond with you and they want you to be the person who helps them. I've even taught classes where maybe I only had 3 students, and all 3 of them became my clients because I taught them something and they went like, "Oh wow, that's a lot of work. I don't want to do that. Tami, will you help me?" And that can happen. Let's see. Would you share a list of different resources that you use? Either that. Sure. Just off the top of my head, in terms of resources like autoresponder, I've used Aweber, and there are some that are free or cheap, but Aweber seems to work pretty well. Um, just ask me, like in the Facebook group, if you have specific questions. Go ahead and ask me, and I'll be happy to direct you, or you can write to me in my personal email. It's tammysocialmedia@gmail. A lot of you have taken me up on that and talk to me regularly. I typically answer pretty quickly if I'm around, and right now I can say I am around a lot, but I won't be a couple months from now. I won't be as accessible, but I'll still be checking my email and everything. And I'll set up um, these live events, so that we'll still be able to have these conversations and everything. Okay, Lloyd's talking about lead generation, setting up the website to do so. Um, we've already been on this call for almost, oh my God, 2 hours. Um, if you want to be a little more specific, Lloyd, that would help me, because I'm starting to get tired. Um, Before we go, let's talk about the value of a customer client to your client. And again, it's pretty basic. In your conversation with people, at some point you need to know what the value of a customer or a client is to your potential client, because that will help you to, in your conversation, to be able to say to them, well, if the value of one client is, let's say, a chiropractor, somebody told me it's like, I think $1,200 or $1,500 a year on average. So think about it. If you can give them some type of marketing that all it takes to pay for it is one new patient in a year, it kind of makes it a no-brainer situation. So there are some mathematical formulas, and I think somewhere I actually have an Excel spreadsheet that somebody gave me, where you plug in some information and it spits out the ideal value. But just using simple math, because it's a lot easier for me, if I think of times of lifetime value or annual value of a client. um, you want to think about it. It doesn't matter if it's the lifetime or annual or a month. What is, if one client is worth $1,000 and you're going to be providing them some kind of service, you better hope they're going to get at least one client. In terms of an attorney, depending on the type of attorney, one client may be worth $1,000. So how much, marketers always ask this questions. If I gave you $1, um, would you pay $1 to get $10? Would you pay $1 to get $3? They're always using this logic of, would you pay this much to get this much back? And normally people say, yeah. And in the real world of retail, people often, if you look at and I'm not in retail, but sometimes I go, how do these people make it? Because their profit margin seems to be so slim. I'm used to saying, well, it's going to cost me $50, so I'm going to charge $200. I don't just double it. I always make sure I add lots of padding because of the value of what I bring to the table. And so, but you do want to think about the value of the client customer to your clients, and you want to make sure that what you're charging reflects the quality and the caliber of your client. If you try to sell somebody who's used to paying $25,000 for something and you say, oh, it's $250, they're not going to buy it because it's like, why would I spend $250? It doesn't matter if it's it doesn't matter that it's only $250. It's out of their price range because it's not expensive enough. So it works both ways on that. I already talked a little bit about discounting and barter. So I'm going to go ahead since we only have 7 minutes till 10, and I don't want to keep you guys all night here. Yvonne is saying, is it beneficial to join the Chamber of Commerce? I'm debating. Yvonne, it really, really depends on the Chamber of Commerce. My personal experience for my local chamber has been I quit my paying them. I did pay for it for 1 year, but the value I got was not anything that and it wasn't necessarily the chamber's fault. I would say it was my fault because I'm an introvert. I don't do well going out to networking. I don't drink. Um, I'm I am really somebody that I do much better uh, talking to a group of people. I can do that all day long. I don't do a lot. I'm not a schmoozer type person. I have a hard time just standing there, talking about stuff in general. Um, and people drain me. So I don't go out a lot. I literally have to force myself to go out and talk to real people in real time. That's one reason why I'm going to Oregon to the PhD program. It's part of I'm going to force myself to talk to real people and get out from behind the computer, and that's how I'm doing it. Um, so if you are someone who can go to the networking meetings, join the committees, do the lunch and learns, get involved, and you like people, go for it. It'll be very beneficial. BNI, Business Networking International, can be very beneficial. But they force you to go. You have to go to the meetings, and so you have to think about that. You have to match what you do to your personality. Like I said, I find speaking and teaching very rewarding, the one to many concept. And of course, I use my free evaluation gift form and I capture 99% of the room, and then I come back and I follow up with them, and then I pick and choose the people I decide to work with. I used to work with anybody and everybody, and that's a mistake. You want to make sure that you have a match with your personality with the people, and that again, that they value what you're bringing to the table. So think about you, Yvonne, and how that works for you, and if it matches your goals. That's how I would make that decision. Lloyd is asking uh, co- the lead cost. What I discovered, and again, we can go into much more depth in the future. I was trying to do a video pay per lead for vein doctors and plastic surgeons. And what I discovered is that people in general, when they're looking for a vein doctor or plastic surgeon, they're not going to call off the videos because they're not in the buying mode yet. They're in the education mode. So, what I discovered was my videos, I had them all ranked beautifully and everything. They were getting thousands and thousands of views, but they weren't getting any phone calls. And so I said, "What in the world?" And then the reality is that people were not in the buy mode when they were watching the videos. And then also, I didn't have any like retargeting in place. I didn't have a lot of the proper funnels in place. Remember, I'm learning this stuff school of hard knocks. Like, Tammy's learning as she goes, and you can tell that by my sales pages that I made myself. you know so you're on this ride with me, and I'm learning, and I'm sharing with you what I learn. So you guys are getting your learning curve cut by, I've been at this for 5 years, so I'm able to cut your learning curve by at least 5 years just by the mistakes I made. So I would avoid on a pay per lead or pay per call any type of niche where people are in the education mode. It works very well with emergency mode or with items, certain items, and definitely anything you do, put retargeting on it, and do that work with it. Again, make sure that you have all those pieces in place with any type of advertising you do, especially today, like with anything that's paid. Make sure that you have your capture, your landing pages, your lead capture, your lead magnets in place, that you have a way to track them. Because I know for a fact that that doctor benefited from all of those videos. He paid me like a couple $1,000s to do all the work because I optimized like 60 videos. I mean, I did get paid a small amount, but it didn't work. I was hoping I was going to get paid. Like, I think our deal was I would have gotten paid like $40 to $80 per call, and it just didn't ever happen because I didn't do it right. Okay, Paul says goodbye. And Yvonne says, I want to use them to get speaking engagements. I take that the chamber. I'd go for it. What I would do on any of these things like BNI, Latip, take advantage of the opportunities you get to go be a guest and have your little 30-second pitch ready, because I think they normally let you at least say that, and see what it feels like. Um, just see what it's all about. That would be useful. Hi, Ken. And so everybody's tired. It is 10 o'clock, so I'm going to let you go. I'm not sure if we're going to do this every week, but we're definitely going to do it at least once a month. And I'm also going to try to do a version in the daytime, because I know I had a lot of people who couldn't come because, heck, it's Friday night. Most people have lives. So, um, but I appreciate everybody who came out tonight, and thanks to I think it was Bruce who said he was recording it for me, and again, I did record it, and I'm just hoping that it worked, and we will go from there. And I really appreciate all the time. And I will share this recording with all of you so that you can listen to it again if you need to, if you need anything. So I'm going to let everybody go. I appreciate it. And I really appreciate the fact that you guys are on the call and that you continue to support me. And I'm currently looking for some contracts and those types of forms for you. And I'm also looking for additional videos beyond what Ray has. I've been bugging this one guy I know, but he hasn't gotten back to me yet, who does done for you videos, very high quality. So watch for that. I am trying to find you some really good tools and everything out there. So great. Great. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you, everybody. You guys, Lloyd says, I'm glad you're using GoToWebinar. I'll tell you, yeah, Webinar Jam, I like the sales features, but it's still got a lot of bugs and everything. So that's great. The deadline on WP Animator, BJ, I'm not really sure it's still there. Just to let you know, if anyone's interested, the bonus that I put to the WP Animator is video search engine optimization live training, where I will show you how I optimize videos based on what is hot today. And then it also includes how to live stream old videos and repurpose them using Hangouts or YouTube live stream, and more on the YouTube card tricks. So actually, the bonus is two different live trainings on different topics, plus the written materials on all of those things that I just talked about. So my bonus is worth more than $500. Plus it includes two live trainings. So I'd jump on it. I don't know how long, it'll be around. I don't think there's a deadline. And then of course, Courtney and his directory domination. I'm going to interview him again because he has gone out and gotten all kinds of upgrades for that. I guess we motivated him. So I'm going to interview him again about all of what he's done with that. I mean, he's really taking it to the next level with customer support. And I know Courtney, I've known him for 5 years. He's a good guy. Um, Upgrade on the WP Animator. I think what the upgrade is the developer's license. They have an individual license and then like a so many sites license. And then I believe the developer's license means that you can apply it to any number of websites you choose. I think that's what the upgrade is on that. Okay, Bruce. Okay. Yeah, and Bruce says directory domination works. It really does. On Courtney's directory program, the upgrades on that he's selling right now are his marketing materials and the authorship rights, meaning that you can take his report and put your name on it and use that out in the sales world. And then the new stuff coming, it isn't released yet, but I believe it is, let's see, I believe that it is going to be like the reports that you need for the directories that he's working on. Okay, let me see. If you go, well, let me see if I can find it. I need to, some people are requesting that I put in the link and I've got to go get it. I wasn't let's see, WP Animator. I wasn't planning on trying to sell anything here, but hey, if you ask for it, I'll give it to you. So, and I've got some really interesting, just for those of you, if you're interested someday, I've got some really interesting stats about how to become a social media superstar. And a lot of it I've learned just by in the last couple weeks of just kind of by accident. Well, I can't say by accident, but by using what I know how to do, I've been able to rise up very rapidly in the affiliate marketing world as somebody um, that people are paying attention to. And I don't know, uh, 100% all of the reasons why, but I did do some things to get my products 5-star reviews and different things like that. So it makes it, obviously when you have your products have um, reviews, people pay attention to it. So here is that code. And the thing that interesting is about these different codes, as you know, Facebook won't let you um, put JB Zoo stuff in to Facebook. I don't know if that went to everybody or not because oh, okay, it must have. I'm just not seeing it. So anyway, that's what we've got. I'm going to let you guys go, and I believe if you're on my email list, if you're not, definitely get on my email list because I do send education out as well as links to different products that I find that I think you'll benefit from. But every Tuesday, I think it is, I send out tweets that you can share with your clients about video or about marketing. And I try to send you some good information that you can use to grow your business. So typically I have like Motivation Monday and tips on Tuesday, and maybe three items a week that are just solid education that you might like. So okay, well, I'll talk to you guys later then. And again, I really appreciate it. And again, feel free, write me emails at tammysocialmedia@gmail. I do answer. And tonight we were talking about Take Action Marketing Implementation Mastermind. How much should I charge? I'll talk to you soon. Thank you. Good night.